It is Wednesday, 28th of July, 2021. Another day, another dollar, another t-shirt. Let's take a look at today's. So you've got to read this one very carefully and very closely to get the full impact of it. Going out especially to everyone that remembers the Now That's What I Call Music album series from back in the day. This is actually a very clever take on it. Instead of the big now, we have NWO as in New World Order. That's what I call COVID-19. We've got a bunch of coronaviruses swimming around here. This one is a real conversation starter. I can attest to that because I wore it out last night to the grocery store and it got a bit of a point and a bit of a chuckle from somebody that had noticed it. So there's going to be many more of those. Big thanks to Lorraine of Red Pill World for the t-shirt. And they're actually running a competition over there where you can win one of these t-shirts along with one of these corresponding mugs. And that's running via their Instagram page. So I'll put the details in the show notes below if you want to head over to Red Pill World's Instagram and you can find out more about how you can get hold of one of these t-shirts. I'll be wearing one of their other designs in my next video as well because I think there's so much value in getting conversations going, getting people talking, getting minds thinking about important things. And that can be achieved wonderfully through slogans like this. And also the stickers that are coming out of the White Rose group. I mean, they're just invaluable. You can get hold of those from the White Rose group's Telegram page. And they recommend that you get hold of a very cheap Brother printer where you can print off these stickers yourself at home and then just do sticker bomb campaigns everywhere. I find police vans are particularly good for this. Lampposts, all kind of street furniture, all kinds of places where people are going to get to see these very simple slogans that make you think. It might just cause some normie to question something that they never previously have. You never know. It's got to be worth a try. I just wanted to say a few words about the massive freedom rally, call it what you will, the mass gathering of like minds and souls in London this past Saturday, 24th of July. I know there were many similar protest events, if that's what you want to call them, happening in various cities up and down the UK. Much respect, much kudos to everyone involved in organising those and attending them and being a part of things and sending out that direct and clear message. And great to see action happening all around the world now as well. This last weekend, lots of pushback, lots of resistance, very visually, very clearly. Happening all over Europe, Australia, various other different parts of the world. Great to see. But just to focus on the event in London for a moment, I was actually quite surprised to find that the action had moved back to Trafalgar Square because this was the site where there was much police kettling in of crowds and unleashing of violence towards the end of last year. Round about October, November, things were turning really ugly with these Trafalgar Square gatherings. And there was a general consensus that it wasn't a great idea to hold these rallies in Trafalgar Square where there's the danger of the crowds being hemmed in that way. So the last three very successful London marches kicked off out of Hyde Park and then proceeded through the streets, notably Oxford Street and various different routes from there, often ending up down towards Parliament and Downing Street. They, as far as I can make out, were very successful. The last event at the end of June, by all estimates, well exceeded 1 million people. And I felt that if this one in July had kicked off out of Hyde Park and taken that similar route and ended up back in Hyde Park again, it could well have drawn close to 2 million people, because I think that's where we're at now in terms of the numbers that are prepared to visually start pushing back against the tyranny as it continues to get ramped up with every passing day. So I do feel that some momentum was lost in terms of the numbers or the feel of the numbers by putting the action back into Trafalgar Square. The square was far from rammed. There was plenty of room to move around, so it wasn't as if people were tightly packed in. There weren't as many people in the square as there might have been. And I don't know where the rest of the crowds were because it was unclear whether there were separate gatherings going on in different parts of the town. But it does feel to me as if some momentum had been lost by changing the location in that way. It felt like a couple of steps back, to be honest, in terms of the volume of these events. Having said that, there were some amazingly profound and impactful talks that took place on the stage in Trafalgar Square. I never thought I would live to see the day that I would be lauding Katie Hopkins for a job well done. But her speech was incredible. She said everything that needed to be said, and she is a voice that is making itself heard very much in the current narrative in a way that too few others are. Also, we had Gareth Icke, who did a great job, chip off the old block, following in his old man's footsteps. There was a broadcast from Dr. Andrew Kaufman on the video screen. There was Vernon Coleman making his presentation. But for me, the highlight of the whole day, and for many people, was the incredible talk by David Icke. Now, I've attended many David Icke events. I've been to so many of his all-dayers, listened to him speak for 10, 12 hours. I've also seen him at many protest events where he's spoken for 10, 15 minutes. I think he was on for 20-odd minutes this time. And in all honesty, this talk will go down, I feel, as a defining moment in human history in these times. I mean, he just struck exactly the right chord. He put forward a very memorable message, and it was actually very emotional and very moving. And it kind of choked me up and put a tear in my eye listening to what he had to say about how we are the ones in this time that are going to turn this situation around, that are going to put down evil, that are going to restore freedoms. And he was talking about storytellers in years, decades, epochs to come, who would look back on the 2020s as this crucial moment in the evolution of human history, where we, the generation of adults alive today, turned what looked like a dire situation around and restored everything that we hold dear for the sake of our children and all future generations. I mean, it was that impactful. And he had the whole crowd singing along to You'll Never Walk Alone, which was an inspired moment. Played the whole song, everyone was swaying, hands in the air, tears in many an eye. It really was a fantastic talk. I'm going to put a link in the notes below to where you can watch back pretty much all of the live stream, as long as it stays up online long enough. And it includes David Icke's talk, which is round about the 2-hour 50 mark, if you want to jump straight to it in the live stream of Saturday's event. So that's my thoughts about what went down last weekend. The main purpose of this rather short video is to announce the next mass meditation that I want to curate. So I did one for 6th of the 6th, 6th of June, then 7th of the 7th, 7th of July. That coincided with one of the big football games, so it was great to transfer some positive will and energy away from the bread and circuses of the football game into something far more meaningful for humanity and creation itself. So more of the same coming up for the 8th of August. This is going to be the 8th of the 8th meditation, 888. And in line with the previous events, I'm proposing that we all get our hearts and minds and souls together at 8 p.m. British summertime on the 8th of August. So that's 888, whatever time 8 p.m. corresponds to in whatever part of the world you're in. This is a Sunday, so it would be a Sunday evening or a Sunday daytime, or possibly into Monday if you're in that part of the world. And once again, the intention is exactly the same as with the previous events. It's not going to be a guided meditation. I'm not going to suggest what people should say or how they should phrase things. It really is a concentration of will, intent, and energy towards manifesting a physical situation that benefits us all, that benefits humanity. So that involves focusing our imagination on a better world, a better kind of existence where truth, freedom, justice, love thrive and flourish. That's the mantra for these times. Truth, freedom, justice, love. The restoration of these values. Because if we have a situation manifest where these values are paramount and at the forefront, then it goes to follow that evil and darkness and deception and lies cannot flourish and thrive in that kind of environment because they're not vibrationally compatible. So that's the deal. It's an 888 meditation. I would like as many people around the world as possible to all join in, and you can do it for as long as you like. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 8 minutes, it could be 2 hours if you feel so compelled. The important thing is that we all get on the same page in terms of directing our intention and energy towards the same desired outcome. The results can be very profound. Somebody sent me a statement from the Heart Math Institute just this week when they were talking about the 8-8 meditation. And by the way, on that date, according to this individual, there is a new moon incoming, which is only going to enhance the spiritual energy that we're putting out there. So this quote from the Heart Math Institute in the United States reads, "Collective human consciousness affects the global," well, that's their word, "information field. Therefore, large numbers of people creating heart-centered states of care, love, and compassion will generate a more coherent field environment that will benefit others and help offset the current planetary discord and incoherence." So what could be so bad about that? So let's get as many hearts, minds and souls on board, on the same page for the 8th of the 8th. After all, this is what the evildoers do all the time. This is what our opposers, our enemies do. They are able somehow to iron out all their differences, to put them to one side. Yes, this might be achieved by way of leverage and blackmail and all these other things to get all these people on board, but whatever tactics they use, they do get the job done, and they do all get on the same page towards bringing about the same desired physical manifestation and outcome. So we need to be using those tactics as well. The forces of the universe are there at our disposal. Anytime we should have the will to tap into them and use them. So let's make it happen. Let's turn this situation around. People are saying all the time, we need solutions. What can we do? I feel so disempowered. I feel so hopeless. This is something we can all get involved in, and I truly believe it does have some value. And maybe it has the most value of all in terms of what we really should be doing and where we really should be focusing our energy and our intent. I'm not saying that real world action shouldn't continue. Of course it should. It has to. These processes always have to be a combination of real world physical action combined with the consciousness and the intent. You can't have one without the other, but let's at least get this part right. See you on the 8th of the 8th to be a part of this incredible event for our times. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's win this.